You know what's funny is that I already did a tutorial on this, but it didn't register my microphone volume. It was muted the whole time, so I went in for 30 minutes explaining through my whole code how it worked, and to figure out that I had my microphone muted. So, god dang it, man. Anyways, enough of that. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go through my code again, like I did with my last video. I'm not gonna do too much explanation on functions and switch case and if statements. I'm going to be emphasizing more of my explanations on arrays, selecting and sorting arrays, because that's what's emphasized in this assignment. Hopefully I could explain it all within 2 hours, explain it and upload it to YouTube within 2 hours. If not, then I'm sorry, but I guess you could still learn this for your own benefit. Okay, what you see different is, yes, I included a black background. Hopefully that'll make it easier to see. Also, I'll include the source code in the description below as a paste bin. So that website will display all my code for you. All you have to do is just copy, or I'm not suggesting you copy and paste my code, but if there's like a section of my code that you need to include in your code, because I understand people do their assignment at the last minute, that people just need the answers to the questions. And I understand, guys. I know you need some answers to your questions, especially if it's due within hours. So just try not to copy and paste my whole code, because then we'll both get in trouble for plagiarism. But nevertheless, let's go ahead and go through the code. Before I actually start, again, for those fast-paced learners, I recommend you watching this video on 1.5 times speed, meaning that the video will be playing 1.5 times fast. For those fast-paced learners, I suggest to do that right now. YouTube has that feature. You just gotta make sure you just select it. For those slow-paced learners like me, just stand still or hang tight. I'm gonna try to go through this as fast as possible. All right. So what's gonna happen is this is my code here. Let me just exit my my thing here. Shit. Hold on. Getting messages all over the place. I know you guys are like, hold on. I'll just see. Okay, sorry, I was reading your messages during the time. Okay, so this is the thing. Okay, this is what it is: linear search, binary search, bubble sort, selection sort, quit. It's not as hard as you think. All we're doing is we're gonna create a code for one section here. Hold on, let me get my things together. Sorry about this. I gotta get the Epic Pen. I like my Epic Pen feature. All right, so this is what's gonna happen. Where's my little thing here? Shit. See, this is what happens when I'm not organized and I'm doing this too rushed. So we got linear search. Whatever code you're going to include here, you're going to copy that same code into your binary search. So all you're doing is making your code on this one and just copying it here. Same thing for bubble sort. Just make your own code here and just going to copy this one. So it's going to be super quick and easy when you have the code all listed and ready to go. So let's go ahead and let's go to the first option, which is linear search. We're going to be displaying all the arrays, or the things within the array here. It's going to be the book ID, title, cost. Obviously, if you put the book ID, it's going to be like, how many copies do you wish to purchase? 2. It's going to be book ID. It's going to redisplay the book ID, the book title, and the number of books, which is 2, and they'll calculate it. Now, what's going to happen? It's going to find through all. It's going to select the book ID that I input here, and it's going to find it over here in this section. And it's going to take it out and redisplay it right here. So without going too much detail about this program, I'm going to go ahead and get to the coding part. What I did is I made a main menu. Don't worry about all this headers and prototypes and all these functions here. Just go one line at a time. So what I did is I go ahead and made a main menu. Within this main menu, I made a main menu pick. So whatever, let's say if I pick 1, 2, or 3, a linear search, a bubble sort, whatever, I set it to equal to 0, because if I have it uninitialized, this can be any number, you know, because it's assigned Any number will be assigned to this one, whatever number is saved to your memory. So I'll just save it, set it equal to 0 just in case. All right, so the first thing I did is show main menu. What I did is the cout only. So this is what this function is. Crap, what did I do? Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, this is what I did. What's it doing now? Equals. Oh crap, that's why. This is what happened when I go. Okay, so this cout, the show main menu, is just this. This is just this. So I'm not going to go into detail of that. Main menu validation. This is the part where it's going to enter your choice. If I do 9, it's going to do error and it's going to redisplay. So it has to be 1 through 5. I'm not going to explain too much about that. And of course, I made this, the main menu pick will be imported to this function call. So again, I'm not going to go through the switch functions or whatever. I'm going to go straight to my linear search, the linear search. All right, so this does not actually contain the code or the algorithm to do the actual sort. This is just the linear search, so that way I'll know where my information will be saved at. So don't look at the local variables yet. Don't. All right, the arrays. Your arrays are already provided to you in the assignment sheet. All you do is retype it from the PDF file to here, because if you copy and paste it from the PDF to your code blocks, it's not gonna register the quotation marks here. It's gonna register as something different. I don't know what's wrong with it. I tried copy and paste it. It didn't work. So you have to unfortunately you have to retype the code for the book title, the book ID, and the book price. All right. So this is what happens first. All right. Don't look at the local variables yet. Displays the menu. So all this does, this little code here. Oh crap! What I do? All right. So don't really pay attention to this one right here. All what this is this right here. This little header here, book ID, title, and cost. That's what it is. Don't worry about that so much. All right, displays the information for each array. So this is where the magic happens. What we want to do is we want to let the user type in a book ID. And what's going to happen is the formula will see if the user input will be matched to one of these numbers over here. We match to one of these up here. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a for loop right here. We're going to create a for loop. Again, I wish I could explain how the for loop works, but due to the time constraint, I'm going to just show you what I put. So for the book ID, right now, I is set to 0. And again, I didn't put int because I already initialized right up here. I is initialized right here as an integer. So I don't have to put int I or anything like that. So that's fine. So what's going to happen is I will be equal to 0. So book ID is 0 right now. So, okay. So you're like, okay, it's set to 0. It's going to see out the book ID of the first slot. This is the first slot. It's considered 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. I'm going to do the whole thing, but you get what I'm trying to say here. See out book ID for slot 0, which is 1101. That's what's going to be see out right here. Now, of course, left. This is just to align it. Don't worry about that. Book title. I is still 0. So it's going to go to the book title. What's the book title? Book title will be right here. It's going to go to this 0 slot here. This is 1, 2, 3, and so on, whatever, you know. Okay, so it's going to get the book title at slot 0, which is starting out with C++. So book price. Book price will be right here. It'll read slot 0, which slot 0 is $112. So basically, when I go ahead and let me run the program again. As of right now, it'll only display. Let me erase this. It'll display the first row so far. This is what's displaying on the first row. Ignore the other ones. This is what's showing right now. What's going to happen in this for loop is since 0 is less than or equal to 9, it's going to iterate again. I will be incremented by 1. So I will be equal to 1 now. 1 is still less than or equal to 9. So 1 will be the book ID in the I. Like I said before, this is 0, slot 1, slot 2. Number 1 will be C outing this number. Same thing for the book title. This is 1 now. Book title. This is 0, and this is slot 1. It'll be outputting this title, book price. This is still 1. Book price will be right here, and it'll be 0 and 1. 1 will be outputted to here now. And again, 1 is less than or equal to 9. So it'll iterate again. I will be equal to 2 now. You guys get the pattern, right? You see what's going on. It's going through each iteration. It will be redisplaying for each slot 1, 2, 3, all the way up to 9, or as long as this, or when this condition becomes false. False. What the hell is mine saying? False. So when this becomes false, it will exit out of this for loop. So just to save time, I'm just going to go ahead to the next line of code. So this is what basically, it just displays all this right here. It just displays this so far. It just displays. It's not doing anything yet. What we want to do is enter the book ID. You want to do a C out right here. So you want to implement one of these numbers from there. What we want to do is, if we put like a number here, we want to take this number and see if it matches with any one of these over here. So where's the formula for that? The formula will be right here. I've made another formula called linear search algorithm. This is being called over here, and I made it as a float. What's going to happen here is that I've made the book ID, let's say book ID, so the array, god dang it, this little software. Let me just scroll up here, erase this. All right, book ID. It's going to get all these numbers, and it's going to go to this. It's going to go, all these numbers will be sent to this function right here. As long as you just put book ID, you don't have to put no brackets or anything. It's going to include all these numbers and this thing. Same thing. The size of data, what I did is, I know there's 10 slots. There's 10 books being registered here. I'll explain why I put 9 up here. I'll explain later. But it's basically 9. 9 is being passed here. And user choice book ID. What this is right here. This one right over here. Enter the book ID you wish to purchase. Let's say you do 1101 or whatever number. This number will be passed through this function here too. So not only the book ID. Let me erase this. So the book ID, all the variables will be imported. Size of data, which is 9. I'll explain later why. User choice, whatever you put here, all of them will be going through this function here. All right, so let's go ahead and go through this function. Don't worry about the results here yet. Let's go to this function here. This is the algorithm for the linear search. If you want to, go ahead and copy this section of the code and paste it. I guarantee it'll work. Be careful though, when you call this function, this is where you want to put the brackets here. Book ID brackets. And of course, you're like, okay, array size and search value. This is not the same name that it's being sent through here, right over here. It's not the same name here. This is different names. Actually, it doesn't matter what the names are here, here, or here, as long as if they're in the same section. So this is like, let's say this is like the first slot, second slot, and third slot. As long as the first slot is the book ID, it'll be the same as this one here. This is the same, and this is the same. You know, as long as they're in the same slot number, then it'll be the same value. But again, just to avoid confusion, you could just copy size of data and just paste it right there. User choice, book ID, or whatever. Paste it here. It'll be the same thing. It's just named differently over here. So let's go ahead and let's go down to this function now. So what's gonna happen is, and this is why I picked 9. It's gonna start at 0, just like displaying whatever we had up here. It's gonna be I is set to 0. 0 is less than 9, so it's gonna go through this line of code. So what's gonna happen here is search value. What's search value? Search value was, let me scroll up a bit. Oh come on, sorry guys. Here we go. Okay. Where am I? Search value. What's search value is this one right here. But what's this one right here? It's this one right here. But what's this one right here? It's whatever you pick. Let's say if you wanted to register book 1101. That's the book ID. Book ID. That's the first one. 1101 will be registered as user choice, which will be registered as a search value, which will be registered right here. This is 1101. Is 1101 equal to the value of the first slot? Just like displaying just like 0. This will start at 0 since I is equal to 0. Book ID will be reading the first slot. This is the first slot, 1101. So basically, 1101 is equal to 1101. So if that happens, it's going to return I. What's I? I is 0 right now in this iteration, as of right now. Assuming we're just trying to find the first book, which is the the book ID 1101. That's just the first slot. Of course, if I do the second one or third one, it's going to iterate 2 times if I want the third book. But for the sake of just saving time, let's just assume the first one is true. That the first one we picked is 1101. So it returns 0. 0 gets returned. So what does it mean when it gets returned? Let's go back up here. Let's go back to our function call. We got 0 from this function. 0 will be saved into results. Why? Let's look at here. This is what we got to do if book ID is found. If the book ID is found, then the quantity demanded is requested. What I did here is I made an if statement right over here. Result. Is 0 greater than or equal to 0? Yes, because we have greater than or equal to right here. That is true. So if that's true, if you see closely here, I put 2 open and close brackets. Nothing will happen if this is true. Now, if this is false, let's go back to the linear search. So let's say if I put book ID 1000, 1000 will not be found in this list of book IDs. So what's going to happen is if book ID, or let's say if 1000 is not found, it's not going to return I, but it's going to return -1. Now let's go back up here. -1 will be saved into results. And results is -1 greater than or equal to 0? No, it's not. So it's going to do this else statement. It's going to be error book ID not found. And what happens in this code is I executed the program here. I know I can make it loop again. I know probably some of you probably made it loop again to enter the book ID again. But I just made it exit for the sake of, like I said, I rushed this code without even thinking on how to do it. So this is going to happen is book ID not found if this is false. Assuming this is true, assuming 1101 is the book ID and it matches and found 1101, it's going to go through here. How many copies you wish to purchase. And of course, it's going to be entered as quantity. So what's going to happen is now, let's say you hit 2. 2 will be saved as quantity. All right, so you're like, okay, cool. I want to redisplay the book ID just like here. Let's go through here. Or let's unpin this. Go through here. Oh, come on. Why is it not doing this? There we go. Freaking thing is not working. All right. So let's hit 1. We already did all this. I want to find 1101. It found it. So I want to purchase 2 of them. So I'm going to be redisplaying the book ID, the title, and the number of books and the total cost again. So how do you do that? Remember, the book ID for 1101, where's it at? This is slot 0. Keep in mind this is slot 0. And in slot 0, this is found 1101. So just keep that in mind. Remember, this is slot 0. All right, let's go back here. And remember, results from this, from my formula here. Remember when it says return I? So it returns slot 0 since it matches the first one. Hopefully I'm not getting confused, getting you confused at this point. Remember, this is 0. So 0 is still saved as results. So that way, all I have to do is do another cout called the book ID. Remember, it's calling results. So result is saved at 0. So whatever slot is saved up there in the array, slot 0 had 1101. So it's going to include 1101 as the book ID right here. Again, for the book title, results is still 0. What's in 0? 1101. Oh, wait, not 1101. It's going to be called the name of whatever book it was on slot 0. And again, the quantity is, I purchased 2 books. I got it from here. That's the quantity. And the total cost. This is going to be different now. Total cost, where did I get it at? Is I got it from right over here. So what's happening here? Book price. Result is still 0. Keep that in mind. So what's going to happen is it's going to look at the book price up here. What's in slot 0? $112.32. So that information is going to get passed through here. And slot 0 is $112.32, I think. Yeah. That's in slot 0. So this number will be right here. And there'll be times by the quantity you picked. Let's say I hit 2. This is going to be times 2. Whatever the result is will be saved to total cost. Let me change colors here. To total cost here. That's how it's done. If you would just want to display one book from the little thing here. Yeah, that here. Total cost. That's what's going to be showing you here. That's how it's done. All right. Now you're like, okay, that's done. What in the world do I do about binary search? Guys, all you do is copy this code and paste, or, you know, your what is it? The linear search. Just copy the linear search code, all this to where it ends, and paste it again in binary search. Now, what's going to happen is the only thing it's going to change is this. Remember this? Remember the one that gets saved as results? All I named, I made another one called binary search result. Instead of linear, I made binary. Everything else is the same. Nothing changed. The only thing that's going to change is the algorithm for searching it. For the sake of time constraints, it's already 22 minutes. I'm just going to let you, copy and paste this code. Promise me it will work. It will work. This is the correct code for binary search algorithm. I searched it up on YouTube. I made sure that was the right one. That's all it is. That's it. That's all it is. You're finished with the first one and the second one. That's it. This code will be in the paste bin description below. Just copy it and paste it. It will work. I guarantee it. All right. So that was actually fast. So what's next? Bubble sort and selection sort. All right. I'm going to go through this very fast. Bubble sort. All you're doing is you're creating an array, generating 1,000 numbers from 1 to 500 and storing each of those numbers in your array. So what the hell do you do? This is what you gotta do first. Smack my table. All right, so I made a variable called number of slot. This is imagine your array as a checkerboard, a big ass checkerboard. Now what's gonna happen is you're gonna make 1,000 blocks, like 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to 1,000. 1,000 blocks here in your array, in your first row of checkerboards. 1,000 squares all across. I don't know why I made this so big. Just imagine this one row all the way across to 1,000. You're gonna make 1,000 slots. Now remember, when you make 1,000 slots, all of them will be set to 0 right now. All the values. Actually, this should be 0. That should be 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to 999. That's actually how it is. Hold on. So it's like this, and this is slot 0, 1, 2, all the way to 1,000, or not 1,000, 9, 9, 9. That's how it is. They're all zeros right now. All of them have zeros, so we haven't done anything yet. So bear with me right now. Just keep bearing with me. I made it random number array. That's my name of my array. I set it to 1,000. Remember, number of slot is 1,000, so it'll be 1,000 right here. Random number, go ahead and make a variable for a random number. I'll tell you what that is for here. Now, In this for loop, this is the one that generates 1000 numbers from 1 through 100 or 500 and stores them in the array, in this array right over here. It stores them in that array. So what happens here? All right, I made a for loop. Integer I equals 0. We're going to start at slot 0. 0 is less than number of slot, which is 1000. That's true. And it's going to iterate one time. So what happens here? This little small code here, that's the random number generator. That's what's going to generate your number randomly. Whatever number generate, let's say it generated the number 3. This will generate random number 3. It'll be saved as random number. It'll be saved as this right here. So you're like, okay, cool. It gets saved. What's next? Remember, I is still 0. Random number array will be reading the first slot here. This one. Random number, remember this is 3. 3 will be set to this right here. You're like, okay, cool. What happens next? It iterates again. One more time. I will be equal to 1. And 1 is definitely less than 1000. So it'll 1000. So it'll execute this code again. It'll generate another random number. Let's say 4 this time. So the 3 was saved for slot 0. This is 1 and 2. 4 will be assigned to random number. 4 will be assigned to slot number 1. It'll be right here. It will do this exact same thing 1000 times. And that's how you generate random numbers and store them in an array. I'm not going to explain further on how it does it, but that's basically it. Hopefully you'll understand at this point how it's done. That's how you generate 1000 numbers and store them into your array. What's next? Ignore this. That's just decorations. I just decorated my C out. Don't worry about that. All right, look at this. Formula for displaying all the random numbers. We already generated the random numbers. Let's display it. How? Exactly the same thing. For loops. I is set to 0, so that way it'll read the first slot first, which is 3, then 4. So it's going to see out random number array. This is my array. This is called random number array. That's my array name. Slot I, which is 0, will read 3. It will show 3, and then it'll show 4, because it'll iterate all the way 1000 times. It will redisplay it. It's going to display it again, or not again, but it'll display it for my the numbers that's been implemented in my array. It'll display it 1000 times. This generates and stores values up to 1000 times. This displays it 1000 times. You're going to need 2 for loops for that. Remember. All right. So what's next? The bubble sort, the actual algorithm. Like I said before, I still don't understand how this algorithm works. For the sake of saving time, it's 28 minutes. Copy this code. It works. I guarantee it. It's the right one. I searched it up on Google and YouTube, and they pretty much have this code up here. Save it here into your code. So you're like, okay, cool. It will sort it now. Now what you got to do is, okay, so how do I display it? Remember this one up here? It says this is C out. It's redisplaying the number. At this point up here, it's displaying all the random numbers unsorted. I can't even write on this. Sorted, unsorted. I copied this code and pasted it. I don't know if you can see it's down here. It's the same thing. This little code, this for loop here. It's the same thing as this one, but it's already sorted. This is already sorted because of this right here. This is sorted because of this. Just copy and paste the code down here. Let me scroll down right quick. Yeah, it's right here. And that's how you display it again. That's it for bubble sort. All this is just decorations. Don't worry about it. That's it. What's next? Just copy and paste the same code to your selection sort. The only thing that's going to be different is your algorithm. Again, this is the algorithm for selection sort. Just I don't want to explain it because I still don't know how this code works. Just trust me on this one. Implement this code for selection sort and you'll be done. That's it. That's all you have to do is just copy and paste it, and that's it. Hopefully that didn't take as much time as it did. Hopefully you'll have enough time as soon as I upload this video to YouTube to finishing doing quick correction to the to your assignments. Other than that, hopefully you submitted in time. If not, hopefully this will serve you as a good informative video, so that way you'll let you understand how arrays works and stuff like that. I did a crappy job, I'll admit it. I did a crappy job because I was rushed. I couldn't do it fast enough. But I promise, if you guys request another video, I'll do it more organized and I'll explain it way better than I did here. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you in class, hopefully. If not, then hopefully your assignments will go well. I'll see you later, guys. Thanks for watching.